No.
Call to order the Banner County Board of Equalization, July 1st at 8:35. Roll call.
Don?
Present.
Robert?
Here.
Lee?
Present.
Item 3, the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. Copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the courtroom by the entrance. Consent agenda items.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda items. Any further discussion? Do we have any correspondence there, Katie?
No.
Roll call vote?
Don?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Item 5, items of business before the board. Doesn't look like any. Guess I mean. Item 6, public comments. The Banner County Board of Equalization will receive public comments on items discussed at this meeting or suggestions for items of discussion at a future Banner County Board of Equalization meeting. The board will not act and/or respond to comments presented on this date. You will have 3 minutes after stating your name and address for the public record. Do we have any public comments? We have no public.
Why?
Do you guys know how many protests Casey got?
No.
I'm just trying to determine if we can nail those all in one day or if
I
we
think
need
so.
to.
I'm trying to remember.
I
She
have 8 right now.
And last I heard from Casey was that she thought one day was fine.
I think she had 8 and potential for 15 more, which could, 23 would be easy to do in a day at 5 minutes apiece.
What parcel though?
Yeah.
15 parcel.
I think so.
So we should be good.
I think we'll be great.
Casey said she thought we'd be good, but that was before the deadline.
And FYI, I'm gonna have eye surgery the day before, so it may be good that it's short, because I'll be able to write bandit.
We just have to listen, huh?
I'll just listen, I can still listen. There she is right there.
Hey there.
Hi,
Give us
sorry,
a-
I didn't get my thing on in time. I didn't hear everything you were saying, I just thought you were talking about protests.
Yeah, we were just wondering if one day is gonna be sufficient
I think
still.
so, especially with, like, I got on to hear Dawn say the 5 minutes, I think we'll be good. And, like I was saying earlier, we'll still have enough time, even if it's not, which I think will be perfectly fine, to advertise for another day and still be within the deadline, so
Okay.
I don't think it'll be an issue.
And I'm okay doing just a long day and just not
Oh,
coming
yeah,
in a day.
me
As
too.
long as we're not here till like
One-
midnight.
One of my, no, I don't think so. One of my suggestions is maybe not like do the, you know how like you vote on the, I can't think of the name of it right now, you vote on like the outcome. Maybe do that after everybody. With the 5 minutes, that might be kind of a time crunch for people.
Oh, gotcha. So listen to them all for 5 minutes and then compile those and then we decide on each one
Yeah, after the fact,
after.
or like after everybody's spoken, yeah.
That makes it better for them too.
Yeah,
Right,
it gives
yeah.
them their
If they don't
5
want to
minutes.
hang
Not to set.
Oh, there's nothing. Give me 2 cents on that.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Casey.
Yep.
Morning, Zane.
What?
All right. We will adjourn Banner County Board of Equalization at 8:39.
Casual day in
Should
the
have asked
office?
if you guys are okay with that.
Just call it, headed to the hayfield as soon as we.
Oh, I see. I just wondered where you carried your gun in there. It's not,
Today, I'm an Andy Taylor.
you're Andy. Okay.
Who's the guy with the peg leg on the Gunsmoke?
Justice.
No, the guy with the stiff leg.
It's been a long time since I got kids.
Yeah.
Starts with a C. He'll come to me probably at 2 in the morning.
Or I better go to the hayfield since Kyle's already out there raking for me.
When you get her bailed up, it's gonna rain tonight.
Is it?
I wish.
As long as it stopped.
Yeah. Enough of the word. Did you guys get some more?
Of course.
Okay, well, you're adding to what you already had and all this. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Part of it.
Did you get some Sunday night?
Yep.
Did you get the hail?
From Grange.
You get hailed out?
50% stand reduction, 50% on the oats.
Oh, Jesus.
So a lot more hay.
Huh? We didn't get any of that, did you?
Boy, that's, your country's pretty nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got hammered that one
It's
storm.
ugly over there.
Twice.
Well, Sunday it went north, so it went into the valley. We watched it, it rained where we're working now.
We had buckets of rain and quarter size hail anyhow. Fell straight down, but just a lot of it.
With that lot of wind and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have the one of these from fire safety? Nebraska Fire Safety.
I never seen one. I wanna say emailed it to some, like Kathy or one of you guys. I
AJ.
have not.
Morning.
Ask her real quick while I have,
Yeah, they had copies yesterday.
you got some in here, do you want? Oh, well, Katie would know what they had in here.
They didn't send it to you? What the heck? Why would they send it to somebody else?
I don't know. I was told they were sending
That's
one,
that's
so
a
I
good
was
answer.
looking
Well,
for
they
it.
got one, I got one. I just assumed you had it too. Wow, okay. Part of the territory. Milo soup.
Like green Milo? You don't want it to make grain. I've got Sudex seed. And I've got some forage Milo on hand.
Is it all treated, I suppose?
Yeah.
Last time I did CRP, it was untreated. They just bagged some bin rice. That's just what I need.
Oh, that's what it is. So, you gonna be special for your
Now we're gonna be in Hayfield. That's as special as it gets. There,
I did a clean shirt on this.
Shit, did it.
That's bluff.
Deal for us Saturday night.
Oh, I could wear my white shirt. I did the coffee challenge with my.
It was kind of.
How do you do that kind of stuff?
You
How do you wear a
know,
white shirt? I get coffees.
Well,
we have leftover.
coffee's not life.
That's what's up with it.
It is.
It's kind of like when you see the guy that falls downstairs and doesn't spill beer. That's me.
That's your good coffee.
That's me.
Is that something they teach you in law
And,
school?
I don't know who else is like it.
Because I think you do very good.
I don't really teach you, you just develop it.
Okay.
It's
I
a
think
required
that's
skill.
Yeah, in law school, I probably
You pay for it.
3 to 4 pots a day.
You Main Street back then.
It was not unheard of to make.
They have one, but Kathy's going to have a coffee.
That was after the pot, you made 5 pots was gone.
Mainly just, yeah, locals and.
And that might get you midnight.
Sure there.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, through that process of work. The other secret is don't look at.
Here's the one with the, both sides. The highlighted one. These
Sit
guys
there
get
watching
them.
and stuff.
One was for The total amount, and one was for if we make payments.
You got that too?
So we're ready to go here.
This one was for the
Pretty good, right?
My
total.
total.
Total, that's, those are all total.
Between 5
And
and
there's
7.
one where we make payments.
You don't? Well, there's the beginning.
So here's, this is if we pay it all at one time for the full amount. This one is if we make payments.
Put it on the side of wherever you're on and over.
No, this is for the bid on the panic buttons. This is for the bid on the actual fire situation. There's two different bids. You broke them down.
Oh, so then you have to add the two together?
Yes. And the difference of it is like about $30 between the two. Between,
That's the fire and.
You got a copy of the bill?
Yeah, do you have a copy of both?
I've got it. I said, give it to the clerk. That wasn't doing it.
there's this other one.
Well, there's three.
Yeah, there's two.
Did you get both copies, Katie?
I got that one, I got Protex, and
That's it.
Our- Is your Nebraska fire,
Oh,
one for 2255 and one for 2197?
I started all of that.
or 22, 55, and 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I got it. I got both, so then I have this one, this actually. So we put those two in the back. Oh, full one.
We might have two more. That one can go in the back.
Why?
I think they're on the back, right?
Well, they're two separate, so the signature's on
Yeah.
it. Okay. Good to start? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll call to order the Banner County Board of Commissioners at 8:48, July 1st. Roll call.
Don,
Present?
Robin,
Here.
Leaf,
Present.
Item 3, Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of this courtroom by the entrance. Would one of you lead us in prayer?
Father, we just ask for your wisdom today as we do the business of the people of Banner County. Help us to see things that we need to see and act on those appropriately. In Jesus' name, amen.
And pledge of allegiance.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? I have a question, it doesn't have anything to do with the decision. On these reports, I was talking with some of our officials. What do you guys think of moving your reports to the second meeting of the month? Because like today, you two don't have a chance to get the end of the month stuff done because you actually do it today or tomorrow.
Yeah, we do it the first, like, 2-3 days.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So what do you guys think of that, moving all the reports to the second meeting of the month? That way, we have everything.
That's fine.
That'd be very helpful on my part.
That way, we'd have what we need,
Yeah.
where sometimes like this month, it's cutting it really close, too close.
Right.
Thoughts on that, Jim?
That'd be good for you, that's when Eric will be here.
What's that?
That's when Eric will be here,
Okay.
that second meeting.
Tim, we're talking about putting reports on the second meeting of the month instead of the first.
Makes no difference to me.
And then if you guys want to report that first meeting, just let Katie know and she can put it on there.
Works for me too.
If you have something come up that you
Works for
need.
me. Either one's fine with me, makes no difference.
You guys good with that?
Yes.
Would you just make that switch, Katie?
Did you want me to put reports on the next meeting, or just start that in August?
See, like you and Kathy's, we would need next meeting as well. You probably don't have much this meeting, I'm guessing,
I don't have anything today for a report, so
because of that.
Yeah.
So maybe just put you and Kathy on the next meeting and then move everybody and I'll just do that.
Sure.
Okay.
Road department as well for the second.
Road department.
Next week.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, do that. All right, sounds good. Roll call vote. On the approval of the agenda.
Oh, sorry. Don,
Yes?
Robin,
Yes.
Lee,
Sorry, John, I was looking at
Yes.
my clock. Item 7, approval of the minutes, June 26, 2025.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second?
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of June 26, 2025. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Don,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Item 8, correspondence, the railroad yard.
Here's I just did the first copy because it's a pamphlet booklet thing. So I didn't know if you guys wanted to look more into it. It's for culverts and all that. I think I gave Eric a copy.
I've got it.
Okay.
The gentleman stopped in last week, the salesman, gave me some information, told me where they were from, what they do, and just to get some ballpark ideas on some stuff, they're working up an estimate to give to me on some auto gates, a bulk order of auto gates to replace all of them up to 30 foot like we've been talking about on certain roads. And the culverts they use are basically half railroad tank cars, is what they used to be, but they're half-inch plate for, I'm thinking, one area that could be utilized possibly down in Bologna. But they're just giving me some prices, that's all it is.
Just getting done.
Yep.
Item 9, public comments. Banner County Board of Commissioners will receive public comments on items discussed at this meeting or suggestions for items of discussion at future Banner County Board of Commissioners meeting. The board will not act and/or respond on comments presented on this date. Please keep comments limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comments? See who is back there. No public comments. Item 10, reports. Highway Department. Jay,
As of now, we are just.
I need you to
building-
come up to the microphone and give a report.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I can't hear you online.
At practice. J-Dub Road Department, morning. We're just fielding phone calls, taking care of issues and repairing roads from the storm damage last week. And trying to get the major roads gone over for harvest, making sure all field approaches and everything are good. We're short-handed, we're playing catch-up. We're doing the best we can right now with the manpower and getting around and stuff. So, that's all I have for the reports today. Any questions?
Anything for Jay? Thanks, Jay.
All right, thank you.
Weed Department, Tim Grubbs.
Not much to report. We got the spray pickup back up and running. And we're continuing roadside spraying and doing weed inspections and that. Nothing else to report.
Anything for Tim?
Quick question, do you certify wheat straw?
Yes.
Tis the time.
Tis the time. I've already done some hay inspections. And weed inspections are coming up, so. I haven't done any calls on anything yet, so. I'm sure I'll.
I've got one for you.
Yeah. It's available.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Good.
Good.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
Sheriff, Zane.
No reports.
No report. County Attorney, Mark.
I'll save mine for next meeting.
Treasurer Kathy.
I'll save mine also for next week, a month,
Next
Never.
meeting?
next time.
Clerk Katie.
I got nothing.
Assessor Casey.
I also have nothing.
Casey, were you in here if I said if you needed to report off that?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's when I came down. I'm good with it.
okay. Surveyor Carl. Carl. Commissioners Dawn.
I think the primary thing that I have is, we're continuing to get bids on the roof. We'll discuss the fire system later in the meeting. I think we have 3 quotes, Katie. I haven't seen them, but we have 3 quotes, maybe 4.
Oh, for the roof?
Yeah, for the roof.
I know we should be getting, I think we got 3 quotes that are supposed to be coming in, but I haven't seen them yet.
Okay. So, do we know when the adjuster's gonna be here at this point in time?
I haven't heard from them yet.
Okay. As I recall, it was the 6th or like a week or 10 days after that was the next to the beat man.
Yeah, Nirma has everything from the storm damage that I have, and they said they would contact us for if there was anything else they needed, and I haven't heard from them yet either, so.
So Jay from Fisher Roofing contacted me and said that part of the damage up there would be warranty, and they came out and fixed the warranty stuff. And my assumption is they fixed the leaks from the hail that we're gonna have. He said there were a number of penetrations, and they took care of as much of that as they could. So I'm hoping we're as weatherworthy as we can be until they get it inspected and we get an idea of what's gonna go on. It's gonna be a $50,000 to $75,000, just rough guess issue. The roof, according to Jay, again at Fisher, was a roof they installed about 20 years ago. And I have no verification one way or the other for that. My suggestion on major things like that is, and I don't know how to do this, but if we could create a notebook that says, this is who did the roof, this is who did the generator, this is who did the building and things like that. It'd sure be useful in the future when this happens. Because when they're under warranty, depending on the warranty, you want to call them first. But I had no idea who actually did the roof when we began looking at it. Tim, I think he's got a bid on the shop, or the clear panels or the light panels in the.
I don't have a bid or.
Okay, but they've looked at it and will give us a bid, so. They're fairly simple to replace. I don't know that we have any new leaks in the shop from our conversation. A lot of these buildings have, I won't say they've been neglected, but there hasn't been a lot of maintenance done to the buildings, and at some point in time, the board has to make a decision about how we're going to fund, going forward, regular maintenance on buildings. There's some rust issues in the shop. We talked about the generator a little bit, looking at that so we can have a fuel supply when the power's off. Whether it's just a small generator to ensure that, or whether we go with the whole building. I mean, those are some significant costs going forward we have to deal with. And if we want to increase, it's one thing to maintain, but I think that shop was built 1957-ish. I think it's built about the same time the courthouse was. That's some significant age. It's older than I am, and I'm old as dirt. So we have to think about maintenance on these things on an ongoing basis. Whether we do that with a sinking fund type thing or whatever. but it's a conversation that we need to have. The other choice is just say, emergency repairs, move forward too. You can do that. So, any questions about the process?
Not really, no.
Okay, and I hope to have all these bids in hand by next meeting, so we should have an insurance adjuster, should have some idea about what they're gonna cover, and then we'll know what the cost of that we're gonna have to come up with, but if it's 20 years old, you know, they just count that for every year, so. Because they just wear out, and they get held a lot in this country. I think that's all my report.
Who's your buildings and grounds committee? Can we involve them in this and in this process?
Sure.
And maybe they could do that research for you. Who is it? Do you know?
Holly and Chelsea.
Maybe they could do the research back and put, like you were talking,
Yeah.
put that binder together and kind of keep a history on our repairs and stuff in one spot.
You know, I guess it'd be reasonable to have the road secretary do some of that, but I think she's probably fairly well dressed.
No, I think you could tell
Holly has
Holly.
time.
Holly
has
might have
time.
time now.
Now,
maybe
this
not.
month, it's pretty quiet this month, so if you want Holly to, she's available, I'm sure she'd be happy, she likes to do that, so.
She does a really
That'd
good
be
job.
great. I mean,
Pardon me?
She does a really good job of that.
Yes, she does.
So maybe get with Holly and
Okay.
let them know what we're looking at. That'd be helpful to have a binder we could just look at to see.
You know, if you search the minutes long enough, you'll find all this stuff, at least dates. You may not find contracts or anything like that, because I don't know that they get in there. But it's really difficult to figure out how to do some of this stuff without knowing where they started, what they got. So,
Well, we can start now and move on.
yeah, that's all we can
That's all
do
we
is
can do.
is try and do better.
And just one last little thing, I did call Fisher Roofing back when we had the leaks. We were trying to figure out who'd come, who did our roof, and so we just started calling because we couldn't find anything. And Fisher does go back and can bring us some information, because they're the ones that said, yep, we did your roof, and they have the dates, and
Oh, that'd be
so,
good place for Holly to start.
yeah.
No meetings, Dawn?
Excuse
No
me.
meetings? You good?
Yeah, I think so.
My report, Region 22 Emergency Management, we tried to have a board meeting and did not have a quorum, so that didn't happen, we just had a discussion, basically. Budget, we work on that today. I got all of the budgets out to the officials. I think everybody got one. If you're missing something, let me know. It's the worksheets for them to work on that are due, is it July 15th?
Seems like it's.
14th. So those are due back to us by July 14th. That'll give us a chance to look at those, and then we can sit down with them if they want to go over that. I have nothing on the website. Leif?
Office of Aging and Region 1 meetings are coming up, so no report from me.
Good, Leif?
Yeah, I am.
Item 11, items of business before the board, Colonial Life, Mike Broomfield and Nick Lees.
You mind if I approach real quick for signature?
Sure. What am I signing?
Send a termination letter for Blackhawk.
Oh, gotcha.
Just trying to catch you along here.
Thank you.
Perfect, and thanks for having me. It's Mike Broomfield, and he's really the star of the show today. I just wanted to come because there is the conflict of interest on anything that happens with me as far as benefits go. My relationship with Mike allows me to get a small revenue stream off of anything he does with the county. So I just wanted to come, let you know he's got some ideas on how he can increase his value to the county, but I just wanted to let you guys know that that it does impact me and what I do for you. So just wanted to have that transparency for you guys. And other than that, I'm gonna just let Mike take the show and go from there, so.
You guys. And gals, sorry.
Do you need one, or Trey need one?
Okay. Colonial Life has been in here for a while. Unfortunately, the rep I had involved here hasn't been the best at getting back with people and or servicing the group, so at least I'm gonna be taking things over on here. What I brought you in the packet, I think Kate approached you guys a while ago. We do have a group term life policy that a lot of counties and cities are jumping on board with us. What it is the county would buy in at $2 per employee, which gives them $10,000. But the big thing is it opens the door for them to purchase up to another $75,000. And the nice thing about this, it's all guaranteed issue. And they can put $25,000 on their spouse and $10,000 on the kids, which again is all guaranteed issue. I mean, there's employees out there that would not qualify for life insurance. And where this comes in, they will, because they're gonna get it no matter what, if they're interested. And I put our other products in here that are new. Right now, everything is voluntary or individual policies through the county. I put in here our new group products, which allows everyone to get on board with no health questions, except the cancer plan that's in there. Everything else like disability, if they need some disability, guaranteed issue. Critical illness, heart things, guaranteed issue. Well, again, no health questions when I say guaranteed issue. They're all gonna get on it. And I know Aflac is in here. I know they have cancer plans. I work with a lot of companies that, yeah, let's move forward. If they want to keep their Aflac, they can keep their Aflac. City of North Platte adopted us, basically pushed Aflac out, put us in. Those that wanted to keep their Aflac, they just set it up on bank draft. So, any questions? I know I went through a lot of things there quickly. But any questions on anything I talked about?
So if I understood you, it's $2 per employee for 10,000.
The county.
It's a term line.
It's just a term. With that price never goes up. If they leave, they can take that with them and the price stays the same. On the voluntary side of it, the 75,000, up to 75,000 that they can add to it, every 5-year increments. They're gonna see a little change. So if they're 31 right now, at age 35, they're gonna see a couple cent change. When they leave, if they leave here, they can take that with them, but that will no longer be a group product, so they're gonna see about a 15% increase when they leave. But they have that option to either keep it or not keep it. All the other products, rates all stay the same if they leave.
And is that policy just for accidental death, or is it?
The life insurance?
Yeah.
Well, it's life insurance.
Life insurance.
Period. They get died of cancer, they die in a car wreck, it doesn't make any difference. We do have a group accident plan in there that covers all accidents on the job and off the job. It has a $50,000 accidental death benefit on it. They're gonna see a significant rate decrease compared to what they're doing if they have an Aflac policy. Probably about a 15 to 20% less with that. And benefit-wise, they're probably gonna see stronger benefits with it also. Hence the reason the city of North Platte moved us. Any other questions? Any interest?
Leif, you got comments?
No. Thinking hard. No.
How about we research this a bit,
Sure.
process this a bit, because I think this is the first time I've had the information, so if we process this a bit.
Sure.
And do you guys want to table it to the next meeting?
Sure.
That'd be a great idea. Yeah. I'd like to get some feedback from everybody else
Yeah.
before I say much.
I'd like to hear from some employees if they would
Absolutely.
be involved in it or not, or if it's a waste of county money, or,
Well, So
What's the cost to the county if we just go with the?
$2.
$2 an employee.
Yeah.
But I wanna, if they're not going to,
it's $2 a month.
$2 a month per employee.
if they're not going to reap the benefits from it, then it's a waste of money, I say.
You mean?
That kinda sounded bad. That kinda sounded bad.
She didn't mean
I didn't mean it that way. I meant if we're going to spend $2 per employee per month, are they going to grab the extras and
Oh.
pay out of pocket for these extras?
You
Are
would
they
be,
going
you would be
to?
surprised. You would be surprised, because I've had that question asked to me, and I'm gonna say 90 to 95% of all my groups that did this, we probably pretty much had a 100% add-on. It's been unreal. I mean, they can add $10,000 on, or they can add $75,000 on. Whatever fits their budget is the nice thing.
But for $2 a month per employee, we get the 10,000 on them automatically,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and then they can increase.
They
from
can
there.
increase it, yes.
Is there an age limit?
Is there an age limit? When you hit at age 70, we'd have to do it on paper, and the benefit is cut in half. At age 75, it's cut in half again. So, I mean, you'll be down to 5,000 at age 70, 2,500 when you hit 75.
Yeah, because I'm in my upper 60s and I was just trying to figure out how that would benefit me.
So, I mean, yeah, you'd still have 10,000.
So, okay.
Yeah. And on the 70, the add-on, that doesn't change.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
any other questions?
Does the life insurance policy, what if you've had cancer and it's not been 5
Again.
years?
Guarantee issue. You can be on your deathbed the day we're enrolling, and we can enroll you. Guarantee issue.
All right, guys, give us tabling this till, what are we, Katie, July 15th?
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Do we need to motion on it? I don't remember how we table.
Is it an action? Whatever you want.
So we'll table that until July 15th. Meeting. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Courthouse alarm security bids. We have 3 bids on this alarm system, is that right? And security?
We have 3 security bids and 2 fire bids, essentially.
Gotcha, because this one's got 2 different ones, is that right?
Yeah, well, no, there's this one,
This is the security alarm,
Right.
panic buttons,
yeah.
and this is the fire system.
Yep.
These are just fire. This one's,
That's fire and security.
okay.
Protex is fire and security. The Nebraska fire equipment is fire and security. But this one bid is just for the alarm system, right?
Yeah, no,
I've never
it's
got a
got the
copy of
security
it.
buttons. But what I understand with alarm security technicians is it was quoted as a residential, needs to be commercial.
Yeah.
Is that correct? And these 2 are
Kathy
commercial.
got that quote.
Yeah, we got that.
Kathy, could you give us some insight?
Yeah,
Since you did the work on this.
I did talk to, Nebraska Fire and Safety came in and he showed us that. He said that this will not pass the fire marshal because it's residential only, with that one.
Oh, with the
That one.
alarm security?
Yes. And so then, with the other 2, we did have a meeting between the the safety meeting, the safety committee and the buildings and grounds committee got together yesterday. Every one of us showed up. I was so excited to see that we had a full committee house. We all sat and discussed everything, discussed pros and cons, had a really nice discussion. We did have a vote at the end. We did, out of 7 people, 6 people did in favor Nebraska Fire and Safety, and 1 person favored Protex. And so we discussed all the aspects of the different things, and what it boiled down to, for those that were in favor of it, we felt like because we had already had their work here and it's already here, and they know what they're doing, you know, pretty much it was, the wiring is here, they know what they're gonna do when they get up there to complete the job. the price between the two, very comparable. And so it was basically, for those of us in the majority, just not the experience. And also having the approval from our fire chief, that was big, and our sheriff. They all agreed to what we thought would be the best would be Nebraska Fire and Safety. The school
And the
uses
chief
it.
and the sheriff thought Nebraska safety was okay?
And so that's how we came, how it ended, that was our discussion. So school uses them, so we kind of be able to kind of work with them.
Yeah, the Banner County School does use
Yes.
them. I checked with them and they're pleased with their service. And
Oh, perfect, yeah. So that's what we have so far.
thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Okay, any more discussion on that?
Given the cost of the system, given the fact that these are both open-ended bids, I'm gonna recommend that we just do nothing at this point.
Based on,
Based on the open-ended. These
just
could be
because there's no,
If you read those contracts carefully, they're open-ended. If this occurs, it'll cost more money. If this occurs, you're responsible for it, etc.
okay,
For example, if the state fire marshal decides he wants to have smoke detectors in the fresh air return system, you'll pay extra for that. Now, having said that, we have to fix the panic bar situation. But that's the Nebraska fire system.
Yeah.
They can fix it with a whole lot less than $8,000. All it needs is wired to a phone, quite frankly. And that has to be done. If we're gonna have that system, it has to be done. It should have been done by the people who unwired it when they notified us that it needed to be fixed. I would just go back to the proposal of having, and I don't think it's gonna cost less than $1,000, I guess, to get the alarm system wired up. And if you still want one in the road office, which is reasonable, they can add that.
I think that just makes sense to put one back there with her.
And I think that's true.
so I'm seeing the Protex and the Nebraska Fire Safety, and we also have an alarm security. And
Well,
there's-
the projects, I believe the panic buttons are included in that,
I
the
understand.
Nebraska
Fire
fire.
and safety is separate, I understand that, and then it looks like alarm security that has the panic and,
Yeah, but they're just putting smoke detectors.
They're just putting
I think we have smoke detectors down.
so
Those are
they won't
residential.
call in, they won't
No.
call in.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Tim, as fire chief, may I ask you, how secure are we today? Is this something we need to act on for the safety of our courthouse employees? Or can we put this off for 6 months?
Well, if you can tell me when the fire's gonna start, you know as well as I do that you're playing a guessing game there. But what I can tell you is if we get a fire at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, this place will be on the ground before anybody knows about it.
Because we need to be wired to dispatch.
I've seen it happen in Harrisburg before. So I'm not concerned during the day because we got people here. Yeah, it's the middle of the night when there's nobody that's gonna see it to raise the alarm. That's where I see the lack in warning. So
so to be clear, we're not even considering alarm security technicians.
That was a residential, the way I
Understand?
understand it. Is that right?
That's what I understand.
Okay.
That's what I was
I
explaining to
never
me.
received the quotes. I don't know. They never
Yeah,
did.
Katie gave it last time. Katie did. Last
It
time
should
and the
be
time
in,
before.
it should be in your packet too.
It was in your packet before.
Okay,
I would like to move forward because I feel like Tim, we need the safety of our employees in the courthouse with the security system during the days.
Yes.
We also need fire safety in the nighttime. we're just now diving into the budget for 25-26. So I would like to approve one or the other and move forward with this. That's just my take. I would like to get safe.
Well, we have a lot of documents that are irreplaceable. If there's a fire, they're gonna just be lost forever.
And I'd like to get going on a grant for them. I'd like to start
Oh, yeah.
as soon as possible on that.
Why don't we start working on a grant?
As soon as if this is approved, I just send them this signed document that's right there
Because
and fill out the forms.
you can't get a grant after you start the project.
Can do.
Yeah, you can because you have to pay.
I have to send
Grants
them the
work that the
documents.
county comes up with the money first, the grant will reimburse later.
Kinda like a FEMA thing.
Yeah.
FEMA.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the bids from Nebraska Safety and Fire Equipment for the fire alarm system, $21,975, and also their bid for the security system, Nebraska Fire and Safety Equipment Security System at $2,255.
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the bids from Nebraska Fire and Safety Equipment for the fire alarm installation at $21,975 and Nebraska Fire and Safety Equipment for the security system at $2,255. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Don,
No.
Robin,
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Correct weed superintendent wages.
So, Pam Bourne, when there was a group of us that went to the handbook conference training in Gering, like a month ago or so. And we found out that if you are salaried, you have to have like 2 people working underneath you, and if not, then you have to be hourly. So the weed superintendent doesn't qualify for that. There's also, I don't know, there's a statute, I think, isn't there, Mark, on something along this?
I think it deals with the Fair Labor Standard pay rate of, it's like 58,000. So if they're over 58,000, then they can be salaried in certain circumstances, and if it's not, then it needs to be an hourly rate. And we had set, when we started with Tim in this position that way, we had set it originally as hourly. And then I think the next meeting, it was changed to salaried, and I don't remember what the reasoning was for that, but I know my recommendation was for it to be hourly from them anyway, or at least from when we put him in and established that position.
So 2 employees under you, Tim, correct? Doesn't Chelsea help you with the weed?
Is that full-time employees?
I believe it's supposed to be.
And I only have 1 part-time employee.
For the weeds?
Yes, that actually directly under me. You could argue that Chelsea is kind of under me, but where she's spread out with multiple departments, so I can't afford to hire more people. I don't need more people, so that's not an answer. Now, if I gotta go back to hourly, I go back to hourly.
Can we dig into this when we dig into the budget? I mean, I know Katie probably needs to know sooner than later. All right.
It just was brought to our attention, and it just needs to be corrected now that it's been to our attention, so.
The road superintendent is hourly, correct?
Yeah.
He's
He is
salary.
now.
He's salary.
He is salary.
Mhm.
No,
He's
I thought he was hourly.
Is that really?
Oh, he is salary,
He's
hourly, because he's
part-time.
part-time.
Limited to 30 hours.
He's part-time.
Historically, they were doing those salaried positions when they shouldn't have been. And that's where the confusion comes in.
So put me back to hourly, I'm not gonna argue about it. It's fine with me.
Can we sit down with you when we get into this budget workshop, sit down with you and get what Katie and Mark are talking about and set our budget with your wages at that time? See how we wanna roll?
Fine with me, but I'm willing to go with whatever needs to be done. Don't have an argument with this.
Okay.
Yeah, and I understand the reasoning behind it, so whatever we need to do.
So shall we table this till next meeting? We can sit down and crunch numbers in our budget workshop, and then when we table it, then we'll discuss it at the next meeting and make a decision. That sound fair? Cause we'd have to crunch numbers in our budget and.
I don't think your budget numbers are gonna change,
I don't either.
because I think when you established the salary, you looked at what the hourly rate was and extrapolated the salary on that. I don't remember 100%. And the minutes don't really reflect enough to be able to figure it back out, but they do show that he was hired and installed in that position at an hourly rate, and then at the next meeting, that changed. I think it may have had to do with some efforts on Tim's part to save the county some overtime, potentially. But the flip side of that is, if he's overtime, he's hourly, he's entitled to that overtime. So that's how it should be. So I think if you set him back to what his hourly rate was, and I don't have that number at the tip of my tongue today, but if you go back to that hourly rate, then when he accrued, when he gets overtime, and that's.
Well, that's what I mean by tabling it. We don't have those numbers in front of us, so unless we all wanna sit here for the next hour while this board puts those numbers together and sets that wage and sets that.
Well, you go back to what he was
Yeah,
hourly
actually, we would
before.
have to do
What-
all
Do you
that.
remember what
It
that
was
was?
$23 an hour.
There you go.
However, when we figured it up, it might be a lot more decimal points. When you figure it up on the salary, it comes up to $22.99. But I believe the first meeting, we should have agreed on 23. So you just take my salary times 12 divided by 2,080, and that gives you an hourly rate. The money's already budgeted, and
Yeah.
Right.
after I've been doing the job for a year and a half, overtime is not gonna be a huge concern. So,
I mean, it's fair if you work the overtime, you get paid
it
for it.
is, but opportunities for overtime have not materialized. I've been able to get all my work done within the work hours. For the most part, I do get some overtime, but unpaid overtime, but it's not a huge issue that I'm gonna be bringing in a lot of overtime, so I don't see where it would really affect the budget. So,
All right. Thank you, Tim.
yeah.
So would we, and I'm just thinking out loud, because our next meeting starts at 11, it's 9:30. Would we need to say 30 hours at shop? I mean, do we need to split that up? Does that make sense?
I don't know if we want to really draw a hard and fast line, because it varies. During the summertime, it's heavier more towards the weed. In the wintertime, the weed really evaporates aside from trainings and reports. So you can roughly guess a 60-40, maybe 75-25, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And that gives you enough time to do your trainings?
Yeah.
Because we're asking you to do a lot of stuff, I guess is my point. The ideal solution would be to let you be the one or the other full-time and hire somebody to do the other. Ultimately.
Yeah.
You can't justify a full-time weed person's the problem.
Very few counties in Nebraska have a full-time weed superintendent.
Okay.
And that's a statutory requirement, isn't it? Weed
Yes.
superintendent. Okay.
What do you guys wanna do with this?
Let's move forward.
Let's move forward. What do you wanna do?
Would we be going back to hourly on all of it then?
Anything with Tim, I believe.
Any of my wages.
Any of your wages would become hourly,
Because it's been
and
combined.
that would be at 23 an hour.
23 an hour.
So I'd make the motion that we go to hourly with Tim at $23 an hour for both duties.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to change Tim Grubbs as weed superintendent and shop foreman to $23 an hour. Any further discussion? Is that what you need, Katie?
Yes.
That fixes it?
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Don, did you second
Yes, I did.
it? You did? Sorry. Don,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Thanks, Tim. Void check 025038082.
This check was lost in transit. It was to Kimball Auto Parts for $1,253.57. We've done all the steps to be able to void this because it's a different process than voiding a normal claim, because normally we have a check in hand, and this one we don't. So we contacted Kimball Auto. They signed the paperwork saying that if this check does show up, that they will not cash it. And they sent that back to us. It is paid, we reissued a check to them, they received that. So I just need your guys' permission to avoid the original check.
Make a motion to void check number 25025038082.
Second.
You want to say who it's to and the amount, please?
Kimball Auto for, what was the amount?
$1,253.57.
Yep.
For $1,253.57.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to void check 025038082, which was lost in transit, to Kimball Auto Parts for the amount of $1,253.57. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Don,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Broadband support letter.
So
Is this in our stuff?
I didn't get it.
no, because I just received it last night, like late. And I don't expect taking any action on it, honestly, but I think it's worth discussing.
Wasn't it on the agenda last week?
No,
It was on Friday.
I put it on Friday because I was asked to. And then they didn't give me the letter until yesterday. But so consider this just kind of an update. I mean, if you think we want to do it, we can do it, but what's happened is the federal government has decided that they're going to withdraw some of the broadband funds, which would give counties like Banner County a lot more fiber put in the ground. And their rationale is it is really expensive. And talking to some of the people at the state level in the broadband office, some of the conversations that I've heard are, there are a lot of people, and I might be a good example, it's gonna cost $75,000 to go from where they ended the last fiber draw to my house. And there are people probably in Banner County, maybe in the southeast part, I'm thinking, in that rough country, where it may cost $200,000. And so they've said that's just simply not practical. And in the interest of trying to save some of this money, they're gonna withdraw, I believe it's 6%. So what their plan is they would like to do more trunk cables. So there, for example, let's take 88, there would be a trunk cable all the way along 88. So that if you needed to go a half mile up the hill to a fixed wireless source, they could do that at a reasonable cost. And then they would have the redundancy with the cable running across the county in a couple different roads, a couple different ways. But they would not connect most of those to individuals. It would be all for fixed wireless communications, which just makes sense to me all over. And the person that approached me wanted us to basically sign this letter, and I have it, but I haven't even had time to read it. In the discussion on the phone with her, she said that they want to protest this. Well, personally, I think this makes great sense. I'm for saving money. We're talking a ton of money to do this.
Okay.
And I don't think it's gonna that adversely affect. What they're saying now is we do have a lot of fixed wireless. You have internet. If you're close enough to the towers, it's pretty fast actually. It's not broadband, I agree, but it's pretty fast. If we go to more fixed towers, which is really what we need, Wyoming has done this pretty effectively. They put these little short 30-foot towers, don't require FFA clearance to put them, or anybody else, and they put them close enough together that they have good wireless service. And that's more what we need. VistaBeam does a great job. If we could use VistaBeam, we would use VistaBeam. But the state doesn't allow you, and they're gonna pay for that for us anyhow. And the state does not like us. We're on secure, the level of security is apparently not met with wireless. But for general use, they're great. I mean, they're exceeding probably what our broadband is in this building, the availability. So I think this move by the feds is actually a positive move. So that's what this was about. My recommendation would be not to sign the letter, because I think it makes sense. And the state broadband office, they have Patrick Haggerty is the guy that runs that for the governor. The governor thinks it's good, they think it's good.
So this is a letter they want this board to sign?
Yeah, they would have liked to have every board in the state sign.
Then it should go to our clerk. Then it should go to our clerk. All our correspondence goes to Katie.
I just got it.
And she did that, I'm just saying, it should
Yeah.
go to Katie.
Yeah.
So she can.
So she can
dig
print
it
it out
out
and send
and-
it to us. Yeah.
and
That's not a problem. But it doesn't have the clerk's name and address, so they called me, they do have mine. So, I don't intend to take any action on it, I guess.
Okay,
But I think that's a good update. Maybe we won't see tearing up the roads, which wouldn't be all bad. And they've got some fiber for those lucky people that got it, so.
So no action.
No action.
no action. Item 12, claims. Thank you, ma'am. I have kind of a random question. Why can we not just put our budget workshops at the end of our regular meeting, and then that way we're not having to
Wait.
That's how we did it last year, and it worked fine.
Well, it's really technically a separate meeting. So you have to, engage it. If you think you can finish your meetings by then,
Well, see, we never know, because we never know how long.
other than your notice should say it should, without a specific time, it needs to be at the conclusion of the regular commissioner meeting, that you're still kind of probably.
It just seems like we could add it to our agenda.
A little thin in terms of your notice, because if somebody's doesn't know when it's the same thing, they don't know when, they don't know when you're gonna start. So you can always
Whatever.
move, you
Just
can always
seems like
move
a
your
waste
notice
of
time
an
up to 10 o'clock.
Have you seen these, Don?
At that point, you can either recess.
And you could say at 10 o'clock or the conclusion of our regular meeting, whichever is earlier.
However, we can just make it flow because it seems silly to sit here and look at each other for an hour. I'm gonna go get lunch.
There you go.
Sorry.
I can go.
If I got an hour, I'll go grab us all lunch. Have you seen these, Don?
No. I actually looked at them today. Didn't have time.
Be careful, that one of mine, Robin, is pretty big.
Are you green? Oh, the $2. Gotta do what you gotta do, right? So we have Aflac through Colonial Life, right?
No, Aflac is separate. We have a Colonial Life policy also. We have both.
And that's what the employees, they pay into those themselves, right?
Yep, yep, we just offer them that and then we take it out of their pay check. So,
Are you sitting on any over there, Life, you can share?
I haven't got mine with this pile. Give me a second and I'll be there. Have you looked at the blues yet?
Hmm?
Have you looked at the balloons yet?
No, the greenies. You want to trade?
Yep. Thank you.
And our new insurance cards, are they in the mail to us personally, each employee, or do they go to you and then you have to do
I
it?
think that they're going individual to each individual person. And Nick said he sent them out on Friday. So we should be getting them anytime now.
Perfect.
That $2 deal, man, that's gonna break us right there.
Overspending on our sheriff.
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second?
I haven't got, I've through all of them, Maggie. Have you been through all of them, Mike?
I have.
It's been moved and seconded to pay the claims as presented. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Don?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Are you tagging the storm damage separate, Katie, from that hailstorm? Are you flagging any of those expenses in any way?
Haven't gotten any yet. None.
This road one says road storm damage.
Oh. No, but
I just
I,
didn't know.
I'll probably have to make a copy of it and then send that separately to Nirma, and then I'll put it in a folder that I'm creating for the storm damage.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great.
Couple minutes.
Huh?
Minutes.
Yep.
Want to send those?
I lost track of, sorry.
I did
I'm
these,
still
I'm
separate.
pretty sure he goes. I try to keep them all color coordinated.
I know.
Katie.
This is claims, payroll, and minutes.
Yes.
Are you all done? All these?
Yes, ma'am.
All blue is,
You're getting tired. You're getting tired.
I think I've signed my name more in the last 2.5 years than I have my whole life.
I think at my age, my hands cramp all the time. I can say that. I have to get a
I
rubber
hope
stamp.
these weren't like in numerical order, Katie, because I'm just like doing them in color order.
What did I?
So Congressman Smith's office day today,
It was supposed to be, but they had something come up, and
I said he's home. So
yeah, so they're gonna shoot for September now.
Did you see our health insurance payment go down from last month? Amy?
A little bit, yes. We're still working on getting everything.
So question onto that, so when we made the motion to adopt the other insurance, we put the money in, set aside some money for an HSA, which is now not needed. Do we need to take action as a board onto that and redo that motion? When we adopted the new insurance? Or not HSA, HRA.
Oh, I'm like,
I'm sorry, HRA. We set some money aside for HRA because there would have been how do I want to put this? What was presented to us today, what was presented to us that day took in consideration that there would be some folks that had paid in to go towards their deductible, and they would no longer be able to receive that. And then at the tail end of the meeting after the vote, I got a text message from Nick that they were going to accept the insurance as was, instead of, and basically what it does is we will no longer need an HRA. So do we need to redo that as a board? Or else we'll have money set aside, we made a motion to set money aside to cover that. So we probably need to have that on the next meeting to undo that, I would guess.
I would guess, yep.
Because that'll no longer be valid.
there will be no HRA.
There will be no HRA. It will not be needed. If I'm understanding that properly.
I think
Is that
that's
how
I
everybody else
should
is
take it.
understanding it?
I think that's how I understood
I
it.
wasn't aware that that's how it worked.
Would you put that on our agenda?
How do you guys want me to
But
work
I
on
wouldn't
it?
be eligible for an HSA.
HRA account?
I am for an HRA.
Leave it open enough?
HR.
Don't you think that needs to be noticed?
It does need to be addressed.
Or else we'll just have money set aside.
It just makes me nervous when you bring that up in a meeting.
Really?
Yes.
All right, are you guys good to adjourn?
Discussion.
Did we vote? I can't remember.
David,
It's getting.
good to adjourn?
Yes, ma'am.
Lafer, you good to adjourn?
I am.
Bannock County Board of Commissioners adjourns 9:50 a.m. You guys want lunch?
I brought mine.
I'm making mine.
I didn't bring lunch, so yes.
Okay, what would you like? Subway or Runza? You gotta pick Gary or.
I'm good with either.